Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee meeting to order for June 17th. First department up is conflict defender. Hello, everybody.
So we have two requests. The first is to extend our contract for our case management system, which is a vital, necessary system that tracks and contains information from everything from closed files to every one of our new files, including family court and all of the discovery that's comes over on criminal cases. So it has everything from videos. I mean, the amount of discovery that's required to be turned over now is astronomical. It's the only way to keep track of it.
What's the cost?
The extension on it, I think, was $5,000. Invoice is, yeah, 5140.
I'll move it. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And the second request is a copier contract.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Probation.
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Don't take all day.
I will not. I will not. Easy. I am looking for authorization to accept the raise the age
Move it.
grant.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Oh, wow. Good. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
It took some.
Public defender.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We have two personnel resolution requests. First, request permission to fill the position of administrative assistant. Will become vacant at the end of July due to retirement. Salary is.
Move it.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And the second is request permission to fill the position of assistant public defender, full-time, vacant due to resignation. Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
I just had a logistical question on that. So there's a range based on experience, but then the budget amount down there is the minimum. So what happens if you hire somebody that's got a ton of experience that you want that's 104, but still within the range?
I would assume
Find it.
you'd have the money in your
Find
budget
it
based on
somewhere.
unexpected salary.
Yes, yes. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Emergency management.
My update, great. So we have our report for the month. Also, the Columbia County Domestic Terrorism Prevention Plan that was required to be updated and submitted by June 1st in New York State has been done. They accepted it. Basically what we did was we added the information on how people can report targeted violence and domestic terrorism within the state or within the county. Also, how the threat assessment and management team operates. We had a very good tabletop exercise for an emergency evacuation at the firefighter's home. We had almost 40 people that represented, I think, 18 organizations. And also, we had to deploy our for the first time, that should be for a Stockport fire instead of Stockville, but that's my mistake. But we took our emergency shelter trailer to Chatham, where the Red Cross actually activated an emergency shelter for an apartment building at Stockport that was damaged by fire. Not the whole thing was damaged, but since it was electrical, the building inspector didn't want anybody back into it until they were sure it wasn't another one was going to start. So, and also I want to give an update on the hazard mitigation plan update, 5-year update. Our consultant company did submit a draft to New York State after the public comment section. there were several revision or several corrections or additions or whatever, or additional information that New York State wanted, which our consulting firm took care of most of that. They had to get information from our planning department, which I see she did all that work and submitted it. So I'm going to ask for an update tomorrow. That should be sent to New York State very soon. And the only thing is that we received a letter from them that even though they approved that and they feel that FEMA is going to approve it, it could be months. The review process and approval by them is completed. And I don't know if this is because of concerns they're having about FEMA. Obviously, there's the administration wants to make changes with FEMA. I don't know if that's why it's going to take so long, but basically the last time we did it, it took 2 years, and we're on that time frame now. So that's it.
Got a question, Brenda?
I'll let Brenda go first. She had her hand up first.
Thanks, Kim. In the event that we had an emergency in the interim, would we use the existing plan or would we move to the actual?
All the information is stuff that you would use now. The plan only makes you eligible for
funding?
certain grant funding, like REC, like the hazard mitigation grant program, grants that I don't think that a lot of towns have benefited from in the past. Partly because I think it was confusing on how that's done, and that's something that I pushed in this plan is more information on the grant process. So that's in there. Some of it's in there. I've asked for more.
But I'm going to separate the funding from the action, and we
Yeah.
have.
Everything that's in there now is stuff you can use now. Shelter, all that information that's added in there. That's stuff that we're use now. Yeah, that other plan expired in May of 2023. Even we asked for an extension, they denied it. We started a year before that. Their suggestion to get funding to hire a consulting company, that went on for a year. So anyway, it's a little disappointing, but I guess it's the process we have to follow. But it will get done.
Thank you for pushing.
Kevin?
it.
So, Town was no longer a fire company. We don't, not being used by the county, but I still heard that they put in their new bathrooms to become Red Cross. So how does that work out now? Is that the county gonna be involved with this, or how does this?
So our agreement with the Red Cross, we have a formal agreement, a memorandum of understanding for them to provide and oversee emergency sheltering in the county. And they've been very good with us. They had volunteers that came up to Chatham last week, from Tivoli and Dutchess County, from Albany. And they were there all night until 12 o'clock the next day. So what happens is they go in and they'll inspect the place. Like we had a meeting at Churchtown. At the meeting I was invited to, the Red Cross told them everything's good except for the bathrooms. Once that's done, they come and they inspect it. Then they can be designated as a Red Cross shelter, and the Red Cross would activate them under the Red Cross umbrella. The Red Cross would activate them.
So is there anything out there from the county, the state, or the Red Cross that tells us where all the Red Cross centers are?
We have a list.
Like a map or something like that that shows.
Yeah, the only thing is that most of the public schools are, the colleges in Germantown, the community building is, the Chatham Firehouse is. They're trying to get away from firehouses unless they have a separate banquet hall.
Right.
If they just have a truck bay, they don't really want to use it. They've been kicked out of truck bays when they have shelters down in other counties because that's the firefighters' work area. If there's emergencies going on, so that doesn't work.
Our Clovis Library, we got a generator into their building, so they can keep 100 people in there. I mean,
Oh,
I
they're-
guess I'm just trying to figure out.
so
how
if they're
to-
designated as a shelter,
I don't know if they're
Here's-
designated,
here's
I'm
the
just saying
thing.
they have the facilities. for
here's the
that.
thing, we may have 15 places in the county.
Mhm.
They may or may not be able to be used as a shelter. There's a couple, that's why I really like the fact that the Churchtown ex-firehouse is a good place,
Right.
because that's not a firehouse anymore. So
Right.
it can probably be used anytime if it needs to be used as a shelter.
Correct.
As can the Germantown site. The college can probably, even though they're having classes in that, they're big enough where they can be used. So, we have a list, but they may not be able to be used, like if school's going on. They may.
It can't be.
Yeah, they may not be used. If they're off for a week, we might be able to use them for 4 days, or during the summer, we might be able to use their gym for, a few weeks. But that list changes every year, depending on who still agrees to.
Gotcha. Okay.
They reach out to them. They just finished reaching out to all the places in Columbia County. They just let me know. So we have a fresh list now.
So will that be sent out to the towns?
No.
Can we get a copy? I mean, the reason I've had people ask me, what happens if there's a tornado?
Well,
Where
here's
do I
the
go?
thing.
And I go, well,
Here's the thing. I can give you the list, but that might not be the place that's gonna open.
right,
The closest place to Clover, if you have a tornado, probably is not gonna be the place where the shelter is. We're probably gonna be away from the
Where
area
it
that's
happened.
damaged.
correct.
So it doesn't really help.
Gotcha, I see.
That's gonna be designated based on the event. So if we have an event, we're gonna be on the phone with you and the Red Cross and say, hey,
Okay,
where's the best place to do this? And we're gonna decide and we're gonna put it out
they're
there.
not impacted by the storm,
Right.
so, okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha, I see what you're saying.
That's the only problem. I don't mind sending all your supervisors the list. I would ask that you don't share it with the public. When we went through this process with the hazard mitigation plan, I gave the same concerns that the list is always changing. So, and we don't want to give people a false sense of confidence that this is where you go, because that may not
Be there.
place.
Okay,
But
all right.
if you want a
I'll keep
list, let me know, and I have no problem sending you the list.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
EMS? Evening.
Just a point of information, last fall, we had a line of duty death, for EMT, Scopig. The 28th of this month and the 29th of this month, there's going to be a National EMS Memorial Service Procession. That actually service procession has already started in June, the beginning of June. It started in California, and they're honoring the 29 EMTs and air medical support team that have perished during the year 2024. It started in California and they're working their way to the East Coast. They're going to be in Albany on July 28th. They're going to stop at the memorial in downtown Albany, and then they're going to work their way down through Columbia County. We plan on meeting the escort and the memorial service on 203. There's a DOT maintenance garage there. So EMS agencies and probably fire companies. Steve Walsh was also a member of Clover Fire Company. That procession will proceed through Columbia County, through various towns. I believe with some police escorts as well. And then the service will actually be on June 29th. I believe at the town hall. That's the last of it.
They've gone back and forth with where they wanted to have it. It's supposed to be outdoors near the rescue squad building.
Okay.
And they're hoping to get some tents up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if it rains, it's not gonna be in town hall. It's gonna be in the Copig Memorial Park, the
Okay.
recreation building.
Okay, great. Thanks for the
They've been,
clarification.
they've been correcting.
Yeah.
information as best they can.
Thanks for the clarification. So There will be speakers, there'll be presentations, so on and so forth. So I'm going to ask Kelly to send the information out to all the supervisors so that you have it. Any and all are welcome to attend. It would be nice to see some support there, for this. It's been the only line of duty death for EMS worker in Columbia County. So it's nice. The procession is then going to proceed from Copig. It's going to end up in Arlington, Virginia. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. That's it.
I'd like to say to the group too, is I had an incident happen with the ambulance service, and again, no fault to anybody but life, but it did bring my eyes open up of how these ambulances are all over the place. They get called down for all over. We even have funds from Columbia County go over to Greene County to support them when their ambulance has to go. So I think when PJ brought that information out about the ambulances before, I think it's something we're really gonna have to look at and address it, because it's happening. I mean, they're just being taken from one place to the next, transportation, getting people and everything. So you got to keep it in our heads. You can see there is an issue brewing out there, and it can happen. So I just said, you just got to keep an eye in your mind that said something's got to give here sooner or later. So, and we're all getting older. I hate to tell you that. Well, maybe not all of you, but I feel it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Okay.
We'll hopefully have something to present to the supervisors in the next month or two.
EJ,
Yes.
the session, legislative session, I think is ending today. Did you hear anything more about the essential worker status?
Nothing.
That's the other thing, Debbie, that really troubles me, that rescue squad workers are not essential service workers.
Some states have just declared it. I think Iowa just declared it, and maybe one other state. I think there's about 16 states that have declared it an essential service. So I think it's still in the hopper. My understanding is it needs to just,
Rise.
yes.
Thank you.
I was not on.
Yeah, me too.
The Sheriff's Department.
Hello.
Welcome.
All right, first request is to fill a senior investigator position. We have two positions. The last time we had two senior investigators was in May of 22, when senior investigator Dunsfall was promoted to lieutenant.
I'll move it. This one through point one.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
All right, we had two. This request is to abolish one senior auto mechanic one position, fill a senior auto mechanic position, and increase the salary of the remaining senior auto mechanic one. So it sounds like we have two senior, to make it make sense for me, we have two senior auto mechanics. One resigned and is off the book effective June 14th. So we don't want to get another senior auto mechanic one. We just want a senior auto mechanic. The difference between the two was a certification for senior auto mechanic one versus senior auto mechanic. We currently have one mechanic there who services the entire county just about, and some smaller police agencies. He's been there 15 years. And with what we said, we had three positions when we first got there. Was what we said the request is to increase his salary by 2,000. Yeah.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? So carried.
Okay, so the next one is to amend the resolution that's already in place for the bicycles. We have a bike patrol, pretty awesome. I tease them and say they look like a bowling team. They have, and we got 4 bicycles. We have 6 members of the team. The request for 2 more is because once they fit the bicycles, you get the seat to the proper height, the handlebars where you need them. There's even a mechanism to adjust the tension in the bike. So once one person sets it up for them, it really is so extremely difficult for the next people to get on that bike. So
I'm fine with it, but the additional 3,600, is that coming from somewhere within your budget?
I wrote it down. Let me see where I wrote it down.
I mean, it's budget neutral overall. You have somewhere else in your budget that you're gonna pull it from.
Yeah.
I'll move it.
Let me give you specifics on. It's a drone.
Did you originally have the 10,000 in your,
What's
did you originally have the 10,000 in your budget and then you went from e-bikes to regular bikes, so you had extra money?
Correct.
So it's really only 877.
Thank you.
I think that's what the,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 3625,
right, that's the amount to buy
3,625,
that.
yeah.
But Kelly thinks you budgeted for 10,000,
For
so then
original for
it's
e-bikes.
only 877.94 that you would need to find somewhere else. in your
Yeah.
budget. I'll move it.
I'll
with-
second it.
Yeah, can we just say like for report finance, like we?
Jim signed off on it, so she must have it in the budget.
Okay.
Otherwise he wouldn't, sorry, I should have moved a little bit further down.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sorry.
So carried.
All right, the next is for, replacement of a drone. We were flying our drone behind the building, hit a geofence and crashed it. So, with the insurance, with reimbursement and insurance that we got, from that drone, and it's aged out where we can't get any parts to repair it. So that's why the request is for a new one. So the difference between the cost of the new drone and what we got from this drone is $607.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
All right, and the next is for vehicles. We did a mini bid for, 4 Tahoes and for 4 Tahoes, 2025 Tahoes that are no longer available. So now we have to order 2026 Tahoes. The cost is increased. We don't know the exact cost, but we are pretty confident that what the difference is will be covered by asset forfeiture money, so. The cost then, to the county. The mini bids just went out on Monday with Marissa, so we don't have exact figures yet. But we don't think it's gonna be more than what we have the ability to cover with the asset forfeiture money.
When will we have the exact figures, you know?
Don't know when that.
So we're approving what if we don't know the amounts? What are we approving?
Yeah, the original purchase of the 4, that we can still order the 4 vehicles, that they'll be 2026 instead of 2025.
Jim did sign off on it, so the money's there.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
Second.
Do we get it first?
I'll move it. Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
And then the last is our out-of-county inmate report, 11,175 for the month, and it was down. We have 38 total inmates, 3 are parole, and 6 are Green County. The rest are ours.
38, is that what you said?
Yes.
Thank
today,
you.
38 today,
Are there still Green County women?
Yes. 39 with our last guy we just got today.
Jackie, back to the car, when do you think you'll get it in 2026?
We won't get them until next year.
Next
It
year.
takes a bit of time, so we won't get them.
Okay,
until
in the
next
same
year.
way as we are.
Yeah, we just know that the cost is gonna be increasing a little bit, so. We'll have hopefully dollar figures for the next one, Marissa, we'll get them.
Is what it is, they keep going up.
Yep.
Everything does.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, local law filing, a local law authorizing 12 and 13-year-old licensed hunters to hunt deer with a firearm or crossbow during hunting season with the supervision of an adult licensed hunter.
This is just extending it, because it seems to happen every 2 years, we have to pass this.
Mhm.
So we added some language in it to say, and in each year, subsequent calendar year for which such temporary program remains in effect, so that we don't have to keep doing it every 2 years. If they stop doing it, then it's obsolete.
I'll move it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Any questions from the supervisors? Any questions from the public? Any questions from the public?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to
Second.
adjourn, second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good.